Welcome everybody. This is Bryan Whitmarsh, your chairman for the Hagerman Joint School District Board, and I have Dr. Jim Brown with me today. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
Non-eventful first month of school, right? Of your job?
Not at all.
Not at all. Before we get started, Jim, I noticed there's a hole in the wall going on. Is this says paint? Is there a story behind this?
Yeah, so what happened is this whole office used to be on that side, and so I moved the chair and desk to this side. We ran the wire, and the wires used to be on the outside of the wall. I said I wanted behind the wall, and so in doing so, they had to put a hole in there and retextured it, and they haven't painted it yet, but that's on the plan, along with some trim.
Good.
In the office, the front office, Kathy's and Mrs. Hoffman's office as well. So,
Cool. Well, the office is looking good. So
thank you.
I wanted
We're moving in the right direction.
I wanted to bring the public into the principal's office. You guys are all in trouble. You are sitting where nobody's in trouble yet. Anyways, what we wanted to do is go over just a quick synopsis of the board meeting we had on Monday, and maybe just some highlights. And then a prelude to, we have a couple meetings, important meetings next week that you want to go over with the community. So let's start with kind of a highlight of the board meeting. We started off like we always do. We went through the consent agenda, which is just a bunch of items of reviewing the meeting notes from last month's meeting. We go through all the finances with a fine-tooth comb. We make sure that everything looks good there. And we actually had a split of the end of last year's financing, because we were closing out the fiscal year. The end of June is the end of our fiscal year, and 1st of July is the start of the next fiscal year. Great news as far as financially, we looked at, we had a higher number for revenue versus expenses, so that's always good. I think the number was 101 of budgeted revenue came in, so additional revenue, and then the expenses were right around 96%. From a financial perspective, we grew our general fund. We'll know all the official numbers here once the audit is complete, but we grew our general fund, and we're very close to $1 million in reserve, which is where we wanted to be. That goal was set a long time ago with Mark Kress when he came in, so it was great to see us achieve that goal, and now we need to maintain and be fiscally responsible, and that's what we've always tried to do here, and that's what one of the board's main responsibilities is. Went through all the consent agenda, and then we didn't have any public input. Again, if you want to mention or talk about something on one of the board meetings, we have a form. You can link to it and just submit what you want to talk about, but we didn't have any public input. And then we went through the administrative reports. And did you have any highlights on what you spoke of for your report?
So just a couple things. One is, yes, our carryover is fantastic, just over $1 million. So that's very commendable. They did a great job with their money management, and we're sitting in a very good shape, very good spot. As far as highlights from our last board meeting is, yes, we will be opening 4 days a week. My guess is it will probably be in a yellow phase, which means we'll take the necessary precautions. We'll have dividers for desks, we'll have dividers for tables, we'll be practicing social distancing as best we can, and if we can't, then we'll ask those students to be placed to use a mask or a shield, or be separated from those who can't or choose not to do so. We'll also have shields for all staff. Again, they will be asked to use those when they cannot maintain the social distancing. So we have a lot of necessary steps in place, precautionary steps, so that we can maximize our student learning and keep our school open 4 days a week, which is our goal.
I think that's the key, is that we want the community to feel that, we are bringing your kids into a safe environment. We've taken a bunch of precautions. Next week, I know we want to review. We'll bring the camera around. We'll show you the shields that we're putting in place, all the different measures that we're putting in place to keep the kids and the staff and the community safe.
And so just as a reminder too, all students will be required to wear masks on the bus. Okay. And again, that is really to safeguard our drivers. And so they're having a hard time getting drivers. And again, because you're going to be on a bus for more than 15 minutes, and they're not always going to be able to maintain that 6 foot social distancing to the number of students on a bus, we will be requiring masks for all students on a bus, and that will include athletic competition as well.
And our full plan has been approved. In fact, we just approved it in our last board meeting. And you can find it on our website, and it goes through the different phases. Opening in yellow, does that mean kids have to wear a mask?
No.
Okay.
No. So with regards to a yellow, they'll be recommended, they'll be encouraged to wear a mask, but not required.
Okay.
Other thing that we did was we also added a few changes to our student handbook at the elementary level, and we're implementing a K-12 school-wide classroom management plan so that it provides some consistency for all staff and for students so that they fully understand what those expectations are and what has to transpire before they could actually get removed from class. So it just provides more structure and more consistency amongst all staff.
Excellent. We went through a bunch of policies. That's one of the main jobs of the board, is to go through the policy updates and make sure that they apply to our local district. I think we went through 20-some policies. That's always the exciting part of the meeting, but no, not really. But anyways, it's very important. So we went through some first readings and some final readings for those. We did go through and we talked about the communication protocol for talking with the board. I love to talk to people, and so when a community member comes up and they have a concern or something, it's really hard for me not to just talk to them. But there's a protocol for it, and you want to make sure that we're following that protocol. Especially when it gets in, if it's a complaint or if it's something directed at staff or administrative person here at Hagerman Joint School District, the protocol is, first of all, we want you to take that directly to the person that's being affected, right? So try to communicate with that person, express your concern. If you're not able to communicate with that person or you're not getting the answer that you want, then you would go one level up. So you would go to either the principal or the superintendent, and then kind of the final step, if you're not getting the answers you want, and you've gone through those first few steps, would be come to see you. And then obviously if something that you can't handle or something that you're not happy with that Dr. Jim Brown provides an answer for, then that's at that point you can't just bring it to the board. What it needs to happen is we need to submit it for it to be an item on our agenda, and everything needs to be public. We can't have these backroom discussions. We need to have it public, in a public forum, in one of our board meetings, on a stated agenda. So that's the process that goes through. Again, I love talking to the community, and there's certain things I can talk about. When it gets to a certain point where we're talking faculty or staff or concerns, that's where it has to go through this proper protocol. Otherwise, we get in trouble, and that's not a good thing. So
Correct.
we did go over that a little bit. That is published on our site as well. And then we talked about preschool.
So yeah, we were looking at opening a preschool here on campus.
Mm-hmm.
And as of right now, in visiting with Rebecca Nebeker, she was hoping to get more of a 5-year or long-term commitment, which we're not able to do because we don't know exactly what our numbers are going to be from year to year.
And we don't know the facility, right?
And
we're
the
looking,
facilities that are available, correct. So she does have a place. She will be utilizing her home for the preschool program. And then again, if things change throughout the year or next year, we can look into that down the road.
Okay, great. I know we have some potential future building projects that we're talking about. From the trailer perspective, those are okay, but they're also great homes for our skunks, which is not good. So maybe not the best learning experience. So down the road, and that's what we're saving money for, right? We talked to you about our levies and our bonds that we have passed. We're storing that money away so that we can be very fiscally responsible, because we know that this, the building and the maintenance of the buildings isn't going to last forever, and we need to be prepared for the future. So we're doing good there on that front. And again, you'll see all the final numbers through the audit that will be posted. Let's see, we went through some student handbook changes.
Correct.
And highlighted those, and then let's see, went through a bunch more policies.
Some hires.
And then we went into executive session. Typically we go in there, we went into to consider hiring a public officer, employee, staff member, went into that secret executive session. We came out of it with approval for 2 new hires, which is great. Talk to us about those 2 new hires.
So I'm excited to share that we've hired Nancy Gossi as a music teacher for 0.25 hours, which is about 2 hours a day. And she will be providing face-to-face instruction Tuesday through Thursday with some planning time on Monday. And that will be a great asset that we will have now that we didn't have in place before, and that'll be for the whole year. And of course, that is a one-year contract. We've also hired Galena Mackey, who is a math teacher for junior high, and she's providing an elective as well, a Russian elective. And so looking forward to her.
A Russian elective?
A Russian elective, yes.
Okay.
Looking forward to having her join our staff as well. So
Awesome.
those are two exciting hires. And then lastly, I will just add that we do have scheduled a building retreat, an orientation day, and some professional development time next week with our staff on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And so looking forward to meet with the staff and get better prepared so we're ready to go on day one, which is August 24th.
Great. And then you did want to have another open meeting for the public to be able to come in and actually, instead of being virtual, I think we were actually going to have them come in, be careful with spacing and all that, but we did want to have a meeting set up for sometime next week, which we'll have further details.
Yeah, so we wanted to have one this week, but we're waiting for all of our supplies to come in so we can have those set up so we can show the community what the classroom will look like with the dividers and our shields and desk dividers. And then next week again, yes, we would like to have a face-to-face just to follow up with any questions and concerns with regards to what it's going to look like on August 24th.
Cool. It was exciting for me today because I came to the campus and I walked around and I saw kids, right? That was exciting. Kids, right now there's 6th grade / 7th grade orientation. We take the last year's 6th graders and some of the high schoolers, orientated them, walked them through, you presented, you talked to them. It's great to see kids again in our school. Again, we're taking precautions to be very safe. We're probably going to start in a yellow category, which is a good category to start in. We have extra precautions, but I'm excited for kids to get back into school and learning to happen, right?
Absolutely. And again, I just want to thank the parents for entrusting the Hagerman School District with educating their children, and we take it very seriously, and we look forward to providing the best instruction and the safest facility possible to do so.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time. I know you're very, very busy right now, but good luck to you. It's great to have you on board, and we wish you the best. And we'll be continuing to provide updates to the community so that you can stay in touch with what's taking place here at Hagerman Joint School District. So until next update, see you later.
Thanks again.
Arg.
Arg.